Hi everybody, this is Jamie from the Unlikely Homeschool. I'm here today sharing a little bit about my task card system. If you hadn't watched the video about how to set it up, be sure to go back and look at that to see how you set it all up in your house to make it usable for you. Right now I'd like to share with you how we actually utilize the task cards every day in our homeschooling as a family. The very first thing for me is to set up the task cards every night. And it usually only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. You get faster as you go. You sort of get in a repetitive routine. But I usually set these up either at the end of the school day, that day, set them up for the next day, or at the evening time when my kids are being tucked into bed by dad, I'll just steal away for 5 or 10 minutes to get this all organized for the next day. But it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up the task cards. So you start with a task card and whatever you have to organize your school day. Like I have my weekly planner that has all my lesson plans written out. So I take these over to the task tags and the base charts on the wall. I sort of look through the day to see how I want to order my day. One thing to keep in mind if you're homeschooling more than one child, you need to have an independent activity planned for one while you're working with another child. So I have essentially 4 kids that I teach every single day. So as I'm working one-on-one with one child, all the other 3 kids need to be working on something independent that doesn't require a whole lot from me. So I have to keep that in mind as I'm ordering my day. When I plan out my day, I plan all of our activities in a trio. I call it our daily flow, and I'll provide a link for that on my blog so you can check out that and see how that runs. But as I'm looking at putting the task tags on for my kindergartner, I'll also look at the cards that I have placed out for my other 2, and I notice right away that my first grader will be working on phonics the first thing of the day, and that requires a lot from me. He's learning to read, so he needs me sitting right there with him going over his phonics. So I've then ordered my daughter's day to start on her grammar, which she's capable of starting all by herself very independently. So I know she's all set. So as I'm planning for my kindergartner, I will plan something that doesn't require a whole lot from me. Maybe it'll be an educational game or play with siblings. I'll just pull up education game. And that could be anything from my closet that I have for him to work on. And that's another great thing about this system is, I don't know about you, but I have an entire closet full of all kinds of educational games and file folders and just fun things that often get forgotten in the school day unless I'm very intentional about bringing those out. So by putting an educational game tag on here, I can then let him go to the closet and pull out some fun little activity, some review game that he can do, and all those games are kind of getting dusted off and actually getting played with. So it's an educational game, and then maybe I'll throw something else on that doesn't require a whole lot from me. Maybe for a time he can play with his little brother, and that's a huge blessing for a mom of 5. And then it'll be his turn to sit down at the table with me and have some one-on-one time. So I'll choose to do phonics. So I just go throughout my lesson plan guide and make sure that all of the things that I had planned for my day are also included in the tags. There's 12 squares, so that's plenty of things, plenty of spaces to fill tags in for his day. Once all of the cards are complete and they're all ordered and put together, I'll bring them over to where the kids actually find their work. For us, it's on the top of this antique dresser that we have, and the kids all have their own personal workbooks here. I used to actually tuck the task cards into their little boxes here, but they were kind of getting snagged on their workbooks. So I just lay them out here, fresh, ready to go for the morning. Then when the kids get up and they know it's time for school, I'll just say, grab your task cards, and they run and look and see what their very first thing is of the day. And sometimes it's very repetitive from day to day. It'll be very similarly ordered, and other times I'll mix it up and have a totally different order. It's all up to you how varied you want to get with it. So they'll grab their cards and they take them with them to their spot at the school table, and it just sits right next to their work. And as they're working through the day, they can physically see what they have done and what they still have yet to do. Another great thing about using a system like this or Sue Patrick's workbox system is let's face it, there are things in the day that every child just really dreads, whether it's math or language or whatever it is. And as my daughter, she kind of struggles through math at times. As she gets to math, she can see, oh, I only have math yet to do, and if I can get through math, I get to go on to history, which she loves. And so I sort of order the day like that, so that as they're reaching something that might be a struggle for them, there will be another tag right after that. Maybe it's a snack, maybe it's play a game on the computer, review game, maybe it's typing or whatever it is. They can physically see, if I can put forth some determination to get through this thing that I struggle with, the very next thing is something that I enjoy. So there's some real intrinsic self-motivation built in with a system like this. I don't have to sit and nag as a mom for them to get their work done, because the motivation is built right in. So let's just pretend that my daughter has finished with grammar and she's going on to reading. She completed her grammar, she's all done with it, so she's going to bring it back over to the base chart and put it up where it belongs. And because the base chart never changes, she knows right away that that grammar tag goes right up here in that right corner. And then she looks at her task card and sees that she needs to go on to reading. As a mom, I can see how the day is progressing just by looking at the task cards and see who's kind of lagging behind and needs to get in gear and get some work done, and who's really flying through. We do a couple of subjects like history and science and art all together as a family, and so that's another thing that I have to consider as I'm ordering our day, that it's ordered in such a way that we'll sort of all hit history at the same time or all hit art at the same time. An easy way to do that is to just start with those subjects at the start of the day, or maybe right after lunch when you're all starting school back up at the same time, or to end the day on one of those group subjects, because our day kind of all ends at the same time. So that way those subjects that you come together as a group, they're all around a similar time frame and you can do them together as a family. That's about all I have. Make sure that you check out that other video if you're still wanting to set up the system or to see how to download it. But I hope these task cards become a great blessing to you as they have to our family. Happy homeschooling.